Wayne, I've been wondering, I do all these videos about climate change, where it's happening, why it's happening, but why does it make a difference anyway?
Well, you might have seen on the news all the people complaining. Everyone who has a household and they pay their electric bill, even me, it affects.
Yeah.
Our wallets.
Your wallets?
Yep, they get much lighter.
How does that happen?
Well, when it gets really hot, you dive in a swimming pool, don't you?
Yeah.
And notes get ruined or ripped up and you've got to throw them away, so your wallet is lighter.
You know what I'd recommend, Wayne?
What's that?
Pennies. See, they're not that affected by water, and they're heavier anyway, so your right or left leg will get much stronger.
How are you not in politics with theories like that?
They don't like things that make sense.
I see. So a new politics then.
Yeah, a new politics show.
We should do that. Anyway, we should probably get on with
the
there's
video.
other things that affect climate other than just the weight of your wallet.
Yeah.
Other way around, other things climate affects.
I knew you did.
Good. I think
Yeah,
you did.
I think you did too. Well done. So, it affects plants and animals, all these things that live in very specific temperature places, and there's a reason for that we'll get on to in a second.
Yep. So temperature increases, things can't live there, but the plants in particular, when the heat increases and there's more light intensity, because of photosynthesis, for a short while as it gets hotter, they're going to be able to grow quicker and better.
Yeah. And more things will grow, and that's mostly good, but some things that the plant doesn't want there will also grow much faster.
Yes. So that can be an issue, and it's finding the balance between these two things. And we can't just control our climate, obviously.
No.
But trying to limit climate change increasing would be a good thing.
Would be a
for
good thing.
Crop yields and whatnot.
And all that sort of things. So, as Wayne said, there's a few things that affect photosynthesis, and one of them is temperature.
Yep. As the temperature, if it growth up here in temperature.
Yeah.
That makes more sense than what I was going to do.
Okay.
As the temperature increases, the growth is going to increase up to a point of about 40 degrees Celsius.
And it's just a bit too hot for a lot of plants. So what happens, you will know because you do biology, things start denaturing.
Yeah.
And these things are very important, especially plants. They can't get in the shade, they're in the sun, that's that.
They're rooted and that's the end.
Yeah.
So this is the optimum position for the enzymes. So if temperature goes up, it could be good for a while, as I said, for crop yield and farmers, but then if it gets too hot, the plants simply cannot live there.
No. You know, enzymes only work at very specific temperatures.
And that's temperature. CO2, you know, plants take CO2 in.
Yeah. Now this you can have too much of, I guess, but only if it was more. The other things didn't increase as well. But it just increases it because it needs it for photosynthesis. But it gets to a point where increasing it doesn't make any difference to the growth at all.
Yep, it's the maximum CO2 it's going to take in, so increasing it just doesn't make a difference to it. So
No.
then it would be bad because then you'd have more greenhouse gases, or a greenhouse gas released.
Yeah.
The more light that falls on it affects its growth in a similar way, much like this one. Eventually, more like this one. Eventually, it gets to a point where if you increase the light intensity there, not a lot more is going to happen. It can only use so much at a time.
Yeah, and water-wise, too much water can cause. Plants are better at handling it than animals. Animals are going to undergo lysis and their cells will explode. Plants don't do that, but they don't like too much water because then their rooting and minerals get sort of messed up with it.
Yeah, they can still only use a certain amount at a time. So if you do any more, it will flood the area. If you flood it too much above the top of the plant, it's going to die out.
Yeah.
It's going to just essentially choke.
It's bad.
And this is how it affects plants. Animals, similar way, they can migrate. Some things can't migrate.
These things that can't migrate are at great risk with the climate change, like polar bears. When their little thing they're on gets very small, they won't balance on it anymore and they'll fall off. And they're quite good swimmers, but they don't swim for so long.
Yeah. All of that sort of stuff is touched more in the next chapter. This is just a discussion about what climate change is affecting apart from wallets.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. Plants have to move around, animals have to move around, and habitats will be ruined.
Yeah.
Word though, we need to know, phenology.
And that is a study, because that's what ology means. But a study of what? I don't think it's phenol, Wayne.
It's not phenol, that'll be chemistry.
Phenology.
Phenology is what it would be called.
Yeah.
Phenology is the study of, how do you put it, patterns through the year. So the hatching of eggs. Some eggs don't hatch until certain temperatures are reached, certain times in the year. Via instinct, some animals won't lay eggs until it's hot enough.
And this is all part of their plan, which we don't understand, but instinctive plan they have that eggs will arrive. The plan is when there's the most food available, and that would be depending what temperature it is. Other breeding things would have happened.
So if the climate changes too much, they're going to lay the eggs at different times to normal.
And perhaps the wrong times, because the sea will be affected less, so maybe the things the turtles need or whatever,
Yep.
they won't be there when they lay the eggs and their population will go down a lot.
So you need to know about that, and you need to know the word phenology is a study of these patterns.
Mm-hmm.
So now we get on to the next chapter where we discuss what happens to the animals, in particular a lot more about adapting.
Yeah.
So we'll see you there.
Alright. Wait, I've got a question.
What's that?
What happens when it's really cold to your wallet?
Well, I'm going to need to buy heating, so I guess more money.